Bienvenidos and welcome to Ticket to Life. This is Henry. It seems like it has been forever since I have recorded a podcast. I am running so behind because we had family over, we've had friends over, we've had COVID over, we've had great news about a grandchild, we've had happy, sad news about my daughter moving to another state. It's just been a whirlwind. Usually I have at least 3 to 4 podcasts lined up for the following month. I have 0. So this is fresh. It is May 2nd and you will be hearing this on May 3rd. So I will do my best to make it a good podcast, a learning podcast, an endearing podcast. I've got only because I have been touched by not myself, but a dear close friend of mine whose child is suffering from an eating disorder. And he is just having a hard time right now. But anyway, I'm going to get to that in a minute. But I want to say that I have missed doing this for the past few weeks. So this is Henry. If you have never heard my podcast, Ticket to Life, I talk about anything and everything that could possibly affect you or affect someone you love, someone you know, because in life's journey, you are never alone in anything. So I am hoping that I have helped some. I'm hoping that I've made you laugh. Hope I haven't made you cry, but I have gotten a little choked up on some of my podcasts, just talking about close things. So this is the month of May. And month of May, especially I guess here in Texas, but I guess throughout the U.S., Cinco de Mayo is celebrated. And people go, oh, it's Independence Day. Well, no, Independence Day for Mexico is actually September 16th. This is actually, it commemorates the anniversary of Mexico's victory over the Second French Empire at the Battle of Puebla in 1862. And it was led by Ignacio Zaragoza. How do you like that? That's my Spanish. And yes, I am Mexican American and very proud to be a Mexican American. Born and raised here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And that's who I am. If you haven't heard, if this is the first time you have heard this podcast, I want to say welcome again. And also my very first podcast, that was in 2022. I've had my year anniversary. Yay! It is all about me and just telling you a little bit about me. So if you're just curious to know who's on the other side of this microphone, then please feel free to go and listen to that. Anyway, also this month is there's like all sorts of important dates in May. May is a very important month. It was just my mom's birthday yesterday. And I hope she celebrated with my dad. That was a heavenly birthday, and they are very happy in heaven together again. She would have been 93, and yesterday would have been her birthday, and I miss her dearly each and every day, just I do as my dad. But happy birthday, Mom. May 20th is Armed Forces Day. Now, a lot of people don't know what this is or don't even honor it, and it should be totally honored by everyone. And this is Armed Forces Day for all of those branches and for all those people who have served the branches of the armed forces for the U.S. We thank you. So please remember to wave your flag on May 20th. And the big one is Memorial Day, which is May 25th. I believe that's correct. I'm making that up. It is the 29th. Excuse me. It is the 29th. So anyway, Memorial Day is to remember those who have served and given their life for our country. So please be sure to raise your flag, celebrate, and remember all of those loved ones. My Memorial Day podcast for last year, that was May 25th. That's what I was looking at, was at my episode 13. And it is about my Uncle Henry. And this is where I got my name from. It's actually Henrietta, but I would love for you to go back and listen to that episode on Memorial Day, because my Uncle Henry was a hero in World War II, and we honor him each and every year. just saying prayers. Remember these. I mean, people put their life on the line just like first responders. So please remember those that have served. So this podcast is a pretty serious podcast. It is about eating disorders. And a lot of people don't really, they just think, well, they can stop doing that if they want. I can't tell you, it was a few months ago. I couldn't sleep. So, start getting on. I was watching something on YouTube, and then, how sometimes it'll show the next uh, show or the next whatever video that's coming up. And it was a girl, a young lady, and I don't even remember it because I guess I was more devastated by looking at it. And she was obviously anorexic. She literally looked like she had many, many followers. She seemed happy, but obviously she's unhealthy. But of course, as I've said in several of my other podcasts, in previous podcasts, it's that people only show you what they want you to believe. Like everything is fine, everything is right in the world, everything is perfect. But guess what? It's not. And I think we know that. I always say there is no such thing as perfect. I mean, some people might think that they are, but guess what? They're not. So, just a little information on eating disorder. Here in the U.S. alone, there's 28.8 million Americans who will suffer from an eating disorder. This is life-threatening. This is something people, and honestly, it's just literally thrown at us every single day. Finally, you can see where a lot of these sponsors for TV programs are using normal, everyday people, that they are not all thin. The problem with eating disorders now is it is thrown at us, and we see it, especially with our young kids. You're seeing it in elementary school children. Is that crazy? Well, you wonder, why would an elementary child even consider losing weight? I mean, isn't that supposed to be the fun time? You have a good time at school, you're learning, you're making friends. Well, I will tell you, one of the main reasons young elementary children are being I guess, really feeling the stress. And it is bullying. Bullying. We've discussed this in other podcasts, the harmful effects of bullying and how bad it is. And again, I will say it till the day I die. It all starts at home. If you, as a parent, are rude to someone, your child's going to learn to be rude. Children want to be respected, but yet they're not respecting adults. It doesn't work that way. We have got to learn to respect each and every one person on this planet, but we have to learn to respect ourselves and respect our body. In fact, as many 65% of people with eating disorders say bullying contributed to their condition. Now, this is crazy, right? You just think, back in the day, somebody was picked on and you walked off. But now kids have gotten really, or maybe we see it or hear about it more. I'm not sure. But it is really sad to know what causes this. Well, you do have some children who are a little heavy. They're healthy, but they get teased by the thinner kids. And for this reason, it becomes a weight issue. And they don't know what to do. Again, an eating disorder is when some people, not even, when I say some people, men and women, it is, you wouldn't believe how many, I've got a list somewhere. I will share with you. Celebrities have had eating disorders. So especially when you're an adult, you think that you need to look good, or at least you should. You should be clean. You should be, want to look your best, because appearances are important. Be who you are. But I think that eating disorders has become worse than what we have even seen. I mean, we've got so many other things going on right now with people that we kind of forget about this stuff. It's a sad situation, especially for young teen girls. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we were in with a group of, it was a fundraiser, and we were in some cabins, and um, I had gone to the cabin because I have allergies, so I went to the cabin for a little bit. So I get on Facebook, and I don't know who posted it, but I'm going to try to attach the link to the description of this podcast, and it was a Dove commercial. Yes, Dove soap. And I had never seen this, but it was this is what triggered this whole, well, this and my friend's son, that she said she did not mind if I spoke about this, but it's a Dove commercial, and it's about a young girl and what they've done. I mean, it is very emotional and it's very eye-opening. And it's about a young girl, and I believe her name is Mary in the commercial. I don't know if that's her real name or not. I believe it is, due to the fact that they show her growing up. Like, mom has taken pictures of her video. I'm sure the parents, not just mom, but as she's growing. But then all of a sudden, as she's becoming a teenager, she's obsessed with her phone. And that's my other pet peeve, kids and phones. And she's on her phone, and she's watching probably YouTube, or maybe, some social media thing other than YouTube. It could be Instagram or whatever. And they show blips of of commercials or whatever that she is watching. Well, as she's growing older, she has an eating disorder. And it's very sad. It's a very emotional commercial. I just did a podcast on crying. Yes, I was crying. But and how she's gotten sick. But it's a very heartwarming commercial. And at the very end, it says social media is having such a mental act on kids. 3 to 5 kids, because of social media, are having problems with mental health, because it's there. I don't know. I think a lot of parents, I don't know if parents are using it, and I'm not trying to point fingers because I don't know, are using it as a babysitter or what, because I feel like maybe they're not monitoring everything their kids are watching. Yes, to a certain degree you can. I'm sure, back in the day, little Billy found daddy's Playboy magazine under the bed, or little Betsy found mom's Playgirl magazine under the bed. I don't know. But I just think it's really sad, because this is still out there. This is in existence. And you think that there are people that literally are shamed because they are overweight. Some people are obese. Oh, several people, they say that our country is so obese, but yet it needs to be out there that people need to be healthy. They just talk about being obese, or you need to be skinny, or you need to do this, you need to do that. Taylor Swift also, she's one of those on my list, had an eating disorder, and she said it was because one time someone said no, don't quote me, because this is something I read off of the internet, but that she had, so Google it yourself, but that someone had said she had a tummy and asked if she was pregnant. That's all a young girl needs to hear, literally. I had gone previously when I was very young in high school. I went to a modeling school. It was called Barbizon Modeling School. I don't even know if they still exist. I was 5'5", and they shamed you back then too. I weighed 114. I can't even believe I was ever that thin. 114, but they wanted me down at 110. So guess what they did? They put me in the back of the room with 2 other girls. I'm like, oh, well, you haven't hit your goal weight. You need to go. So this has been going on forever. Now, this was in the 70s. So people have been shaming women forever. I mean, you look back at the old movies, and women had this teeny tiny waistline. It's like, oh, I mean, literally, it was amazing. I've never been that thin, ever. But I remember being shamed that I needed to go to the back of the room. And did I ever lose those 4 pounds? Hell no, I did not. I just couldn't. I was done. But there are different types of eating disorders. People just hear of certain of anorexia, excuse me, nervosa. And this is excessive weight loss to obsessive dieting, exercising, starvations, laxative abuse. And many people with anorexia don't realize how that's affecting their body. I literally walked in on one of my friends once, and she was at my house, and she said, I'm going to go upstairs and use your scale. Okay, not a big deal. Okay. Well, she'd been up there for a while, and I went up there to make sure everything was okay. Well, she had taken her clothes off. She had her panties and bra on, and literally, I saw a skeleton with a layer of skin. And I went, oh my God. And she turned around surprised. She goes, oh, she didn't know what to say. She had been taking laxative for months and months and months. I did not know what to say other than say, you really need to stop. This isn't healthy. And she did. And guess what? She's a healthy young woman now. I guess it's just that guilt trip. That we have to look like a certain something, but guess what? You don't. You just need to be you. Because people will love you for who you are. Now, if your man or your woman says you need to lose weight, and they're saying it endearing because they're worried about diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, they're doing it out of love. And they tell you this is why they're concerned. If heart disease runs in your family, and someone that really tells you in a nice way, because, to say, oh gosh, you're fat, you really need to lose weight. No. Go on this journey with them. And even if you're thin, go on this journey with them. Help them help themselves. Because it can plant a seed in their head. Bulimia. This involves binge eating. This sounds great. They eat all they want, and then they go and vomit and abuse laxatives again. Purging, it's the most common form because people are like, oh, I can eat and eat and eat, and they may go out with their friends and then go home. I, again, have had friends with eating disorders. They never admitted it because they're adults or they were young. Another friend, every time we would go get together to eat, she would disappear and go to the bathroom. Didn't think anything. Oh, she's got a great digestive system, right? And then I noticed she'd come back and her eyes were all red. You know when you really throw up and you're like, just feel horrible and your eyes are all watery. And I said, are you okay? She goes, oh yeah, I'm fine. Well, guess what? She had an eating disorder. Be aware of these things. Be aware of your young kids, boys and girls. It is so, so important for good health. There's another disorder that I don't think a lot of people have heard of it. It's called Pica, or I believe it's Pica or Pica, Pica. And it's where people don't eat food. They chew on ice. Yeah, someone told me, oh, there's an ice diet. When you get hungry, you chew on ice. Well, first of all, it's really bad for your teeth. But they eat ice, or they'll eat dirt or chalk or soap. Anything other than foods with no nutritional value. Now, this can actually lead to poisoning, malnourishment. It's really a sad thing because, again, people don't realize what is happening. They think this is okay because they're eating something. But no, it's just such a bad and sad situation. And if you know of anyone that could be having these problems, I've got a number for you to call. This is in New York. It's the National Eating Disorder Association. It's NEDA. Now, they do have a chat online, so you do not have to, they're not going to ask you to do a FaceTime or Zoom or anything. And you can chat, and perhaps they can direct you. The only thing is it's not a 24/7 kind of phone number, but they are open Monday through Thursday. The hours Monday through Thursday, Eastern time 11 to 9, and on Friday 11 to 5. And it is 1-800-931-2237. 1-800-931-2237. And it's NEDA. And of course, it stands for National Eating Disorder Association. There is a 24/7 support text. It is NEDA. And then you put 741741. So I will put that on my description also, because if this could help someone who is having problems with eating disorders, I ask you to please help them help themselves. Of course, a lot of this can be cultural pressure, growing up with an unhealthy standard. Let's say your parents were really obese and you saw their struggles, and you don't want that. So you try to fend for yourself and you start doing things differently. When I say fend for yourself, you start wanting to take care and control of your body, which is great. Like I said, it's great. You should be able to take care of your body and eat healthy. And we all know, there's a gazillion diets out there. But we all know what we're supposed to eat. Stay away from sugars and white breads, and ask me if I do all that. No, I do not. And no, I'm not the healthiest person. I'm not on any medication by the grace of God, but I know I'm not that healthy because I am heavy. Also, personal pressure from a relationship. You didn't look like that when we got married. Okay. Well, this is how I look now. Accept me for who I am, or bye. Just these are important. Do things for yourself. Do it for your health. If you have any questions or aren't sure, well, maybe I do have an eating disorder or a drinking or a drug disorder. There's so many things. But if you do, contact someone, your doctor. Trust me, they're not going to go and tell anyone. That's what they're for. They want to help you. Having a close relative with an eating disorder is a hard thing, not just for the person suffering from the disorder, but also on the family. And having a close relative with a mental health condition, the same way. History of dieting, negative energy. It's all about trying to look like someone else. Be who you are. We're not perfect. Your body's never going to be perfect. I mean, in your eyes, you have to accept the fact that you are who you are. You're perfect. If you decide, I need to lose 10 pounds, well, stop at that. Whatever your doctor says you should be at in your healthy weight. That's what you should be looking for. And it's all about being healthy. So again, this is the story of a friend whose friend said I could talk about their son. And because people think that women are the only ones who have this disorder, but it's not. It's men, it's women, it's teenage boys, teenage girls, it's elementary school children, and elementary boys and girls are, I think, have a tough future unless the parents get in there. That social media, as much as we do love it, it can be very hazardous to our kids. So, anyway, the friend had to take her son to the doctor because he has been going to therapy for a while, just things not going right his way, always wanting his cell phone. Just, she takes this away at night, and he's gotten upset about it, and he's pounded on the table saying, "Give me my cell phone." And she doesn't. But then she realized he started losing weight, like a lot of weight, really fast, really quick. Well, she realized he started following someone on social media. And that person, guess what, had an eating disorder, saying this is how we need to look. And, people really like me a lot better now. People, if they don't like you for who you are, then you need to get away from them. But social media has such an impact on us, and it had an impact on him. He lost 20 pounds within, I'm going to say 2 months, and that's a lot. Especially when he was already thin. So now he is going to rehab, or he's seeking some counseling, no, he's not rehab, but some sort of counseling. But she said he just isn't who he used to be. And it all started off with bullying, then trying to look great and look like other people, celebrities, and started following someone on social media. Said, this is how you need to look for people to like you. So it's out there, folks. And we need to make a change, and we need to help our young kids. And I mean, this isn't just young kids. I mean, even adults, like people in my age, 40s, 50s, 60s, are suffering with this. Ed Sheeran. I love Ed Sheeran. He suffered from bulimia. Jane Fonda, she was such a big guru in the 80s, but she has always suffered with eating disorders. But I think now these are all people who have said in the past. This was all on, Google it. And I have found these because I was curious to see Demi Lovato, who I just love, but she is very open about her eating disorders, where she was, thin, that she was put on weight and she's thin. Lady Gaga and Princess Diana. I mean, I don't know how many of you know her story, but this wonderful, beautiful princess, and she had an eating disorder, of course, because another thing is, if you can't control something in your life, and you can control one thing in your life, and that's how much you eat and what you eat, and at the same time you think that's going to make you look good. Okay, this is what happened to her. She was no, I did not know Princess Diana, but I mean, you can watch The Crown, read books on her, and she did, because her life was what's her name? What's his name? The king now. What's his name? Yeah. See, he's just always bugged me. But anyway, but Hilary Duff, Kate Winslet, Russell Brand, the comedian, Jessica Alba. Now these are big name people. These are people that you've heard of and admired. But they are very brave to come out and say, yes, I had an eating disorder. And sometimes I have to be careful, because I could see myself falling back, because being in the spotlight can cause a lot of anxiety for them. Again, if you know of anyone, please have them call the number that I gave, that 1-800-931-2237. And again, I will post their link. They do have a chat. You can call, you can get on their website, and I'll put that on there too. Just to know you're not alone. You are not alone in any situation in life. So please remember, find your blessings, because if you are going through something, if you look around, have a roof over your head, food on the table, family who loves you, then you are truly blessed. But if you do have a problem, please seek help. And so this is Henry. Thank you so much for listening. I've missed podcasting for the last few weeks, but I'm back. And until next week, please take care of yourself.